Hi, my name is Linda. I had a heart and kidney transplant in April of 2018. My journey started back in 2014 when I had a heart attack and I had quadruple bypass, which was very successful. I then had a surgery in 2014, and after that surgery, I put on 10 pounds of weight in 2 weeks. So I went to the emergency room and found out that I was in congestive heart failure. I had 17% heart function. So over the next 4 years, it was a lot of in and outs, in and out of the hospital, a lot of not feeling real well, lost a lot of breath because I couldn't walk very far. And then they decided to put a defibrillator in, which was a God bless because it saved me. I didn't even realize, but I was having trouble. Took my nitros, sat down in my chair, thought everything went well, till I went to get my defibrillator scanned, and they told me that I had actually my heart had stopped and had been revived. So then I was in the hospital again, and my doctor said there was nothing else they could do, so I asked to be transferred to another hospital to see if I had another option. I did have a few setbacks when I was in the process of waiting for a transplant. I had too many antibiotics, and they said if I had too many, that could cause a chance for rejection of the organs. So I had to go through a process of plasmapheresis where they cleansed my blood, recirculated it, and cleansed it of the antibiotics as much as they could. But during that process, I ended up getting a bad infection and had to be taken off the swan pump and the central line and the plasmapheresis port. So that was a setback, and I got taken off the transplant list at that time too because I had the infection. So luckily, it didn't take too long to get the infection cleared up, and then they put all the lines back in and started the process again, and I got put back on the transplant list. Um, Also, I got to the point where I could not leave the hospital by the time when I got to the hospital for the transplant. I could not even leave. I had to wait. They told me it could be months or a year. Luckily, it wasn't that long, but I got to where I was bedridden. My heart was so bad I could not breathe much going down the hall when I walked. So that was a bad setback. And then the night that I did get the call, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and the doctor told me all the ins and outs of the surgery and the donor, and I agreed. And so the nurses came in and was packing up my room, and everybody was happy. Then I looked down, and one of my lines were bleeding, and they said it was the swan pump line had come out and been misplaced in my vein. So at that time, I had to go back into the procedure room and have the line corrected so that because you had to be hooked up to all that while you went into surgery. And that's the last part I remember. I went in to have the procedure done, and they did the surgery on a Sunday. It was a 13-hour surgery because I had to have heart and kidney. I didn't know my kidneys were failing until they told me when I got to the hospital. And so I didn't wake up till Friday, and my children were there waiting on me to wake up. So I was happy to see their smiling faces. But during that time also, then I had a pump in my kidney, a little pump, JP drain they call it, and that fell out. Well, I had put on 30 pounds of fluid, I'm guessing, 30 pounds of weight from the surgery, the 13-hour surgery. So that setback caused the fluid to actually seep through where my stitches and staples were, and then actually just through my skin. So that set my rehab back. I couldn't start rehab soon. So you have these little setbacks, but you just keep being happy and glad that you're there and things are working. My kidney didn't want to work at first. It was sleepy for 2 weeks, but they biopsied it and it was fine. And then it woke up and everything's been fine with it. So far, everything's working good. While I was waiting to be placed on the transplant list, I had a lot of support from my family, a lot of support from family and friends that came in. I have three children, and they took their turns coming in and doing what odd jobs I needed to be done while I was in the hospital because once I got there, I couldn't leave. So to keep myself busy, well, for one thing, you'll have to get a lot of paperwork done from all your doctors and have them sit there. So I stayed on the phone getting all my paperwork done. It was tax season, and I always do my children's taxes. So the nurses would laugh because they'd come in and I'd be doing my children's taxes. And then my granddaughter was going to make her first communion. So I had bought a lot of seed pearls and a veil, and I took my time and sewed all those seed pearls on in there because you got to stay busy and keep positive. I didn't know how long I would be in the hospital. So it's amazing how positive the staff is, the nurses, the dietitian, the nutrition doctor, the people that are just coming in constantly giving you info. And it's amazing how friendly and they're really there for you. They want to support you. The minister would come in. I even had one favorite little housekeeper that would come in and just say, "Hey, I'm just checking on you. You doing all right today?" Those people lift you too. So take advantage of all the people with the positive attitudes because that will just help you. Since my surgery, you have a lot of follow up visits. Like I had 14 heart biopsies, but I had done so well, it took that many to be able to get me off the steroids. So they said if I could get off steroids, that'd be great. It's better for my bones, especially being a woman. So you don't have to worry about that for osteoporosis. So I followed everything that they said. I got adjusted to all my meds. I stay on top of all my meds. I do not ever skip my meds. I have I was always a walker, always a walker. So I still walk, do put my miles in. I do a lot of stretches now, which I used to not do, but this, the older you get, the better it helps to stretch and get those bodies moving. And I still have a lot of support. I'm fortunate to live in a mother-in-law suite behind my daughter, and my other son is 5 minutes down the road, and then my other son is close by too. So we're a close family. I have two granddaughters that are always at my house because I live behind them, um, and I socialize. I have friends that will ask me to go out and do things. I go with them. Friends that ask me to go on trips. I go with them. They they love me and I love them. So be surrounded with people that you love and support. I'm involved with my church. I volunteer. I'm part of a women's group that meets together. So you got to stay active, stay on top of your meds, stay on top of your meals, eat healthy as best you can. Okay, the day that I received my phone call from the cardiologist to say that they had a donor, it was 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, and my children had all gone home. All had lots of people visit me that day, so I was pretty tired. I answered the phone. He explained everything to me about the donor, and which there was, a little question about one part of it, but he said this is what you need because she does not have any antibodies, and I was struggling with too many from me. So it was exciting, but I called my kids, told them do not come tonight because they still had to go and retrieve the organs, and I wanted them to be safe on the highway when they came the next day. So it was going to be a long 13-hour surgery, so I didn't need them to rush over here. But it was exciting, and then when all my friends found out, especially the ones that had all come to visit, it was really exciting for everybody. My recovery took a little bit longer than some people maybe because I ended up having a bad pressure wound from the long surgery, so my rehab was pushed back. But do your rehab as hard as you can so that you can get out of the hospital and be on your own. When I left the hospital, I still wasn't walking on my own, but my children helped me, and it didn't take much longer. I did the rehab like I was supposed to. It made me feel so much better. I was able to only stay 2 months in the local area for the hospital. I was able to go home after that because I was trying to do my best and follow the rules and do what I needed to do. It's been wonderful. I can't tell you how much better you feel after you have all these transplants. It's amazing, but you got to follow the rules and do your stuff, do your job, what you need to do. The advice I would give is to listen to the social workers, listen to the palliative care team, listen to everyone that's coming in and explaining if whether you can have an LVAD or what you are able to have at the time. Um, the transplant team will explain everything to you. It's overwhelming all the information you'll get, but I actually had a little notebook that I kept with all my questions I needed, which doctor came in that day and tell me what was going to happen, so that you're aware of how you will feel before and after. Because it might take a little while before you get to feeling good, but it'll go soon, and then it's amazing how much you'll be able to do after you've had your transplant. So think it through, talk to your family and friends, and give it all up to God. That's all I can say.